Okay, hi. So this is my first YouTube video, and I actually, when the pandemic first happened, I actually started making videos on my Instagram, and people were like, "Hey, you should make a YouTube." So here I am. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Okay, so I'm just gonna jump into it, and then at the end, I'm gonna give like a little bit more description of what I want my YouTube channel to be like. But I'm about to pin curl my hair. So this story is actually about dating someone with a girlfriend. But the gag is I didn't know he had a girlfriend, but we're gonna get into that. So this happened about like 2 years ago. And let's just say this story is crazy, okay? So if you watched my Instagram stories, like you definitely have seen and heard this story. But we're just gonna start it off with this one because I got a lot more dating stories, y'all. Okay, got a lot more. So if you know me, which some of you guys do, some of you guys don't. I have periods of time where like I get bored and like this. What the hell? What was that? That was a fail. I get bored and I try my brush. I get bored and I decide to make dating apps. Like, of course I'm not catfishing nobody, it's me. But I'm like, okay, I'm gonna meet somebody new and talk to or whatever, or, just have a good laugh. Y'all, if y'all been on Tinder before, y'all know that there's some interesting profiles. Okay, and one day we gonna talk about them profiles because sometimes the stuff that you put on there, interesting. So yeah, I made a Tinder, and I think something else. I think I made like I can't remember the other ones. Okay, it does here and there. I get off on tangents. So I made this Tinder profile, and like the first day, you know how you get like the little hits, and guys like, damn, like you fine. What's your name? Where you at? So there was this guy, and he went to college here in Georgia, which I went to college here in Georgia. And maybe one day, I'll disclose that information. But he went to school somewhere like I known of, it was a known school that I'm aware of. And so I was like, oh, hey, what's up? Like, how are you? And he was like, a little bit older. He graduated before I did. And he was like, hey, like, what's up? So we have talked for like a week, and I'm trying to be spontaneous because, guys, let's just be real. I don't go out, okay? I don't go out. I don't do all that. I used to be in college, and like I got older. I'm 24, and I don't know. Meeting people is a lot difficult now than it was in like college. So I said, okay, like, oh yeah, I'll meet up with him or whatever. Like, that's cool. So he and I was talking for like a week, and he was like, so what are you doing right now? Like, I would love to hang out. And I'm like, oh, nothing. I'm just, the hell? I was like, oh, nothing. I'm just chilling. He was like, do you want to go see a movie? And I'm like, sure. Like, why not? So we go to the movie theater, and I picked a movie theater like, close to my house where like I know the back roads. So if I gotta like run away from him, if he was dangerous, I can so like I met him there, and in the movie theater he was trying to talk, and I don't like people that be talking in the middle of the movie. Like, be quiet, I'm trying to watch this. That's why I'm here. So he was trying to talk, and like I could give him this look like, haha, like, let's be quiet. So the movie was over, but like in the movie theater he was like staring at me, and I'm like, what? And he was like, dang, you pretty, like, dang. I'm like, am I supposed to be like ugly? Like, what'd you think? And he was like, no, for real, like, sometimes girls don't look like their profiles, and like, you look like your profile. And I'm like, thank you. So after the movie was over, he was like, I really, want to continue like our conversation. Mind you, he was talking, I wasn't, because I was really trying to watch this movie, and he was playing games with me. So So I was like, yeah, sure. Like, what did you have in mind? And he's like, oh, there's a bar that I used to go to over here, and we can go there. So I was like, cool, whatever. I drove my car, y'all. I did not get in the car with him because I didn't know him like that. And, we We don't play them games. So, of course, took a picture of his license plate and sent it to my friends. And also sent my location. Because if he tried to kidnap me, baby, best believe somebody was going to know where I was at. So, that's just who I am, okay? So, we get to the bar. And the bar was packed, and he was still trying to talk, and I'm like, I can't hear you over this loud music, and but okay, sir. So like we were talking or whatever, and he got me a drink, and I didn't really drink my drink. I like sips it, but he was like ordering more drinks, and I'm like, oh, like it's that type of night for you. So I only had my one drink, and he was like, oh, you didn't finish your drink, you didn't like it. And I'm like, no, like I liked it, I just just wasn't in the drinking type of mood tonight. And he was like, oh, and like y'all, he reached over and grabbed my damn drink and drank it. Like, okay, all right, I get it, okay. And so he, like, after that, he was like, you're like seem hella cool, like, all right. He was like, so you seem hella cool, and I would love to like hang out again. So like, can we hang out again? And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, like, I had a decent night. Like, it wasn't horrible. I was like, yeah, we can totally hang out again. So we had a second date, and the second date was so cute. Like, he asked me like what was my favorite restaurant, and at the time, which I'm so upset that they don't have a restaurant front anymore. At the time, it was Puff and Petals. Shout out to K Michelle. So we went to Puff and Petals, and if y'all ever been to Puff and Petals, like if you get like a drink, an appetizer, and like a little entree, whatever, like you ain't spending no like $20. It ain't like the 2 for $20 from Chili's, okay? So, and not saying like I'm used to nice things. I'm gonna get to why I mentioned that. So we did that, and then he was like, I don't want this, this night to end or whatever. Like, I wanna, continue to talk. So we ended up going to Piedmont Park, and there was like some little ducks, and we watched little ducks and stuff, and we were like, walking and talking and laughing and, just enjoying each other. And he was like, yeah, like, telling me about like he was the only child and this and that, da da da. So we having a good time, and like mind you, y'all, my mama FaceTimed me in the middle of this date, and I was like, Mom, I'm on a date, like this is hella rude. And she was all like, girl, I don't care. And he was like, oh, let me talk to your mom. And I'm like looking at him like, first off, she crazy, second off, you want to talk to her? I was like, okay, cool. So my mom like spoke to him or whatever. And like she got the phone, and me and him just kept like walking and talking. So we had a third, like official third date, but like we would hang out and talk or whatever. But we had an official third date that is not really here. But this is not what you're here for. You're not here for that, okay? You're not here for that. We're here for the juicy stuff. So let's fast on forward. We was on FaceTime all the time. We were hanging out. Was always talking to each other, always like doing like little debates, asking each other's opinions on things. And there was like he was just a little perfect, okay? Like everything he was saying was like the right thing. Y'all know what type of man I'm talking about. Like, no matter if you said the sky was blue, he was like, yes, it's sky blue, and the angels in up above is making the clouds white. Whatever, like just saying some like real perfect ass, like some real like, okay, all right, full of it type of stuff, okay? And that was fine. Like, if you want to do that, that was fine. So it got to the point where like him and I were, always talking, always FaceTiming. And then it was like sometimes he would go ghost. Like me and he'll be texting, and then I don't know where like my messages stopped going through. And it was like weird. And like he'll pop up the next day like, hey, good morning, how are you? Like, what are you doing? I want to see you, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, that's a little strange. So there was one night in particular. We was texting, and he was like, oh, like, I'm just like, out and about or whatever. I'm like, okay, like we were just talking, texting, whatever. And then like my messages stopped going through. Bizarre. And I woke up the next morning, and I had like 10 missed calls from a blocked number. 10 missed calls. And mind you, these calls started at 3 o'clock in the morning, baby. Okay, not just no like, oh, random, calls. No, these started at 3 o'clock in the morning. And as I'm like waking up, there's another call coming through. So I'm like, hello? And it was a girl's voice. She's like, hello? I was like, hello? And she's like, is this Tasia? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, do you know, and I'm not gonna put his name out there, but he's a typical black boy name, but I'm gonna just say his name is like, let's say Jay. Let's go with Jay. Is this Jay? Do you know Jay? And I'm like, at the time I knew like more than one Jay. So I was like, which one? Because it's a whole other story about another Jay, y'all, that we're not gonna talk about. We're just gonna let it go. So I was like, yeah, like I know him, what's up? And she was like, did you know he had a girlfriend? And I was like, honestly, y'all, when he have time to have a girlfriend? Like, come on now. When did he have time to have a girlfriend? And I'm gonna tell you how this man had time to have a girlfriend. So I was like, girl, no, I need a girlfriend. Like, what? And she was like, yeah, like, I'm his girlfriend. I've been his girlfriend for 7 years. And I got something to tell you. So at this time, I'm like, all right, like this girl, she clearly, I don't know, whatever. Like, I was like, look, sis, I don't want to fight you for him. Like, you can have him. I don't care. But she was on a whole other different wave, y'all. She was on a different wave. She was like, and I quote, I'm not a fighter, so I don't want to fight you. And I was like, oh, girl, you don't have to worry about that. Like, I was not going to fight over no man. Like, you good, sis. There's plenty out here. So she was like, dang, I just keep dropping stuff. She was like, yeah, I don't want to fight you or anything like that. She was like, but I just need to talk to you about him. I'm like, okay. So she was like, how long have y'all been talking? And I'm like, 2-3 weeks. And she was like, so when y'all went on dates, like who paid for y'all dates? And I'm like, him. And she was like, I don't know how he paid for dates. And the words, and I quote, well, he ain't got no damn job. What? That's how he was making this work with talking to me and talking to her and hanging out with me and hanging out with her. So how was he paying for this stuff, y'all? That's the question that everybody gonna ask. This is how he's paying for stuff. His mama was paying for our dates pretty much. So pretty much she like gave me the whole spiel, like his mama take care of him, his mama pay his mortgage, his mama pay his bills, his mama most likely paid for y'all date. Girl, you dating his mama. And I was like, oh, wait a minute now, hold on. This man was like most definitely 28, 29 years old. What? And she was like, yeah, he quit his job a while back and he actually really lazy. And like, she just gave me all the tea. But then she went into like this whole other story about how he been cheating on her and how she tired of him and how she can't do this no more. And then she talked about and also he got some other girl pregnant. Well, he claimed he got her pregnant, but I think it was a lie that he told his mama to get some more money from his mama. What kind of ghetto ass shit is this? So I was like, girl, like, this is a lot. Then she started telling me, and I'm not gonna tell her business, her side of everything with what she had going on, but she started telling me like, deep, intimate issues that they had in their relationship. And she was like, I gave him 7 years of my life, and like, this will be my husband, and he out here making me look like Boo Boo the Fool. And I just like really feel bad for her, because I'm like, you know what, girl, like, you don't deserve this, sis. And then she was like telling me like how, he been doing all this crazy stuff. So in the midst of me and her talking, okay, me and her was speaking to one another. We was on the phone for 3 hours, y'all, 3 hours. And most likely I was most giving her some like, some counseling sessions. I was like, girl, you need to leave him alone. Girl, let him go. She was like, can you send me y'all messages? So, me being me, I really don't give a fuck because I'm like, hey, this ain't my man. Like, I don't care. So I saw her messages. All of a sudden, homeboy has another text me talking about oh wow, you really ain't loyal. Loyal? I only known you for like one minute. The fuck? Like the hell? So I was like, loyal? What are you talking about? And he was like, you really ain't loyal. Like, you over here sending my messages to her. I said, first of all, baby, like, God bless you. Like, I hope you get what you need to get because please get off my phone. Like, just get off my phone. So then sis and me's talking or whatever. And she was like, you seem like a really cool girl. Like, if things were different between us, like, I would definitely hang out with you. And I'm like, I don't think that we would hang out with each other. I I doubt it. I doubt that was gonna happen. And then she was like, are you single? And I'm like, duh, like, this is why I was on a date with him. She's like, my brother looking for a girlfriend, and like, you seem like a really nice girl. And then she added me on social media, and then me and her like started, she started texting me or whatever, and she started talking about her brother was single and her brother's a good man and he looking for a good woman. And I was like, okay, all right. So then, that's it. But y'all, let me just say, men be real slick, but they don't be slick enough, because he really, he real life had the nerve to get mad at me. Baby, you did it to yourself. What's wrong with you? Okay. But this is my story time videos, and I actually want my YouTube to be about my dating experience, because I am single and I am dating. Ew. And then also, like, about fashion and shopping and decorating, like decor stuff, and like, decorating and having a good time or whatever. I do want that's on my YouTube channel to be. And also, it's like a good outlet to not only share my experiences with dating, but also hear experiences from everybody else as well. I also have stories from my friends, but of course I'm gonna ask them before I tell their stories. But we love a good little story time. So you guys be blessed. Don't let these men stretch out your edges, okay? Don't let them stress you out, sis. Keep doing you, boo-boo, okay? Live your best life. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.